the Big 12 takes it, throws it to the American takes it, throws it to Conference USA, and Conference USA is taking it. What is up, everybody? It is Jake with Master Football, back at it again. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. If you've never been here before, this is Jake with Master Football, pro football, college football, video game football, anything related to American football we discuss in the show right now. Please, 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 please subscribe. Hit it right now. Subscribe, like, share, comment. All that drives engagement. I really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So I think we all can admit to one thing right now. I think that my MAC picks for my 5 pick'em week are not going so well so far. Come on, Central Michigan, Eastern Michigan, come on, babies. But anyways, that's how it's going in college football. This story is related to college football. So we know a while back. Again, let me see if I can do this real quick. All right, let me see if I can do this. Okay, so Texas, Oklahoma join the SEC, leave the Big 12. Big 12 invites Cincinnati, Central Florida, Houston, and BYU in. Okay, that's what they had in. And then the American Athletic Conference invites in 6 members. All right, let me see if I can do it here. FAU, Rice, what do we got? We got Georgia State. I don't know. Let me just check. So here we are. Conference USA lost 6 schools to the AAC. Yeah, UNC Charlotte, FAU, North Texas, Rice, UAB, and UTSA. Oh, Georgia State was not in that list. But this article, actually, I want to highlight something else. So now, okay, so again, we saw SEC takes from Big 12. Big 12 takes from Independence and American. American takes from Conference USA. Conference USA now is taking from a couple of other divisions. So we see down here, on Friday, Conference USA announced it is adding Jacksonville State in Alabama, Liberty in Virginia, New Mexico State in southern New Mexico, and then Sam Houston State just outside of Houston on July 1st, 2023. These programs will be joining the 3 schools that are likely to be the only ones remaining in the conference: FIU, La Tech, and UTEP. Here we are with Judy McLeod. It says, we are incredibly excited about adding these 4 schools and feel there is tremendous upside in these moves for our conference. I also think a big aspect of this is that they're able to fill that out. Again, they only had 3 remaining schools. We'll get into what they lost and where they have. I actually have that map up there I'm going to show you guys where it actually indicates where everybody's at. And I'm going to kind of point around and see, like, this is where they have to go. That's where they have to go. I've got some bad news for Conference USA. They're all live, but again, they are on not quite life support, but like they're definitely limping right now. That's what we'll say. But we see here, it says that, however, Conference USA may not be done adding, considering it will still likely have only 7 schools when 2023 arrives. According to Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports, the conference will be seeking an 8th member, with UConn and UMass being considered as options. Conference USA has lost 6 schools to the American Athletic Conference, like we said before, and 3 to the Sun Belt, Marshall, ODU, and Southern Miss. It has also been reported that Middle Tennessee State and Western Kentucky will likely be joining the MAC. So there you go. Conference USA will be looking much different in the near future, but after losing so many schools, there was uncertainty. Now it's already in much better shape. So here we are on our conference map, and again, I wanted to make sure I bring this up for reference. So we have the pink is going to be the Sun Belt, the white is going to be Conference USA, the brown is going to be the MAC, and then this weird green is going to be the Independence, and the Mountain West is going to be in blue. So we saw here that, again, they only had FIU, okay, down here, FIU, La Tech, and they had our dear friends over here in UTEP. So then they add this team right here. They add New Mexico State, who's right there. That's a travel partner that will help out a lot. They also add Liberty, who's going to be over here. And then in addition to that, so they add Alabama. Jacksonville is in Alabama, and then just outside of Houston. So they're adding those 4 to the 7 that they already have. There also is talks about them adding in either UMass or UConn. UConn is not mentioned here because for some reason UConn is added to the American. But that would be an addition here. But if you think about that, I mean, that really puts a lot of stress on this conference. So it's definitely still a Southern Conference. Before in the Conference USA, they had a lot more, like I said, a lot more filling out. You see here, this is Western Kentucky and Mid-Tennessee State. These 2 are going to be joining into potentially this brown team right here, and then the rest of those losses in there. So this still is not great from Conference USA's perspective. They're still able to stick together and play football because Again, what you want to avoid in these instances is being absorbed into another league because your league kind of falls apart. So I think there's a lot of people out there who might be UTEP fans or Conference USA or Conference USA fans in general, FIU fans, Jacksonville State fans, and they're like, "Oh man, this doesn't help our conference. This doesn't help our conference." You're staying together and you're not going down to a smaller division. This is helping your conference. I don't care if the money gets cut. I don't care what you're talking about. This is an absolutely good thing that you are no longer going to get absorbed into the Sun Belt or get absorbed into the conference or into the American Athletic Conference. So despite the fact that you might not be super happy about it, this is an absolute win for Conference USA. Where this is a loss, and again, I wanted to make sure I looked this up. So I looked up if they potentially bring in UMass or UConn. I used UMass Amherst as an example. This is the distance between Las Cruces, New Mexico, and Amherst, Massachusetts. 2,000 miles. So that's not great, but again, you have to do what you have to do in order to stay relevant as a conference, and that's what they're doing. Another thing that's big between them, they had Sam Houston State, Jacksonville State. So 2 FCS editions. So again, like I said, I've said this before in my previous video. Like I said, October 20th, okay, the AAC pillages, Conference USA, please go encourage you to go watch that. But in essence, what I basically said was crap runs downhill, meaning that the Big 12 takes their crap, throws it to the Big 12, Big 12 takes their crap, throws it, crap being in this instance, like you have to figure this out now. Okay, we're taking from you. Okay, the Big 12 takes it, throws it to the American takes it, throws it to Conference USA, and Conference USA is taking it and throwing it to the divisions for Jacksonville State and for Sam Houston State. But both of those teams are really high quality FCS teams. So this right here was the 2020 Sam Houston State schedule. So you see down here that they won all of their games, beat South Dakota State. And again, look at this. This is May 16th. They had to have their championship in the spring. The FCS National Championship, they won 23-21 over South Dakota State. So Sam Houston State coming in just off of that national championship. How is Jacksonville State doing? So this is Jacksonville State in 2020. And again, they did really well. They lost in the FCS quarterfinals down here to Delaware. But you have to remember here, does everybody remember what happened to Jacksonville State earlier in the season? You remember when they beat Florida State? I know they lost 31-0 against UAB. UAB looks like they're doing much better. But Florida State, they went there and they won. They are capable of winning those games. I mean, if you see this, they get blown out by Kennesaw State. They get blown out by Central Arkansas, blown out by Sam Houston State. But again, I don't know if that's... Florida State needs to get their crap in a row. In addition to that, you have to remember that they are going to Conference USA. It also sounds like James Madison, in addition to those 3 other teams from Conference USA, are going to the Sun Belt. So James Madison Dukes, this is their 2020 season, and again, lost down here in the quarterfinals. I actually think this is the semifinals here. They lost to Sam Houston State by 3. So a very competitive team out there in Virginia. So quality team that is joining them as well. This article here, okay, I was born and raised in Montana, so you see this right here, Big Sky Notebook, the recent FCS to FBS moves likely to change the landscape. Let's see what they're talking about. Right here, top-ranked Sam Houston and number 2 James Madison officially joined the FBS conference last week. Sam Houston will join Conference USA, and James Madison will head to the Sun Belt no later than July 2022 as the target. We also see down here, and again, like you said, Conference USA will also add FCS Jacksonville State. And then they'll also add Liberty and New Mexico State, and then Conference USA. So Marshall, ODU, and Southern Miss will join James Madison to the Sun Belt. So Sun Belt is expanding as well. So it says right here, other effects from those departures will likely be small, or at least hard to foresee until these programs change conferences in the next 2 years. Perhaps some of the Big Sky's partnerships, likely the media rights deal agreement it recently formed with ESPN, will feel an impact in positive or negative ways. The conference would certainly welcome more deep playoff runs and titles, but you see down here that, Idaho, which will play Montana State on Saturday, rejoined the Big Sky in 2018 after 4 years in the Sun Belt. Idaho, like again, the only one that makes sense for the Big Sky Conference realistically is the Mountain West right now, just because I think that the Pac-12 has got their nose up at everybody. So if there's any movement in the Mountain West, Boise State has been rumored, San Diego State has been rumored, Colorado State has been rumored. The only place where those teams could to go would probably be to there. And again, you could maybe argue, maybe like it, North Dakota State, South Dakota State to the MAC or something like that. But right now, that's where we're sitting. I think that the dust is probably going to settle. I don't know how much movement from D2 to FCS is going to help from FCS to FBS. I don't know how much more that's going to occur, but I do know that those are the ones right now: James Madison, Jacksonville State, and Sam Houston State. There we go. Like I said, and again, that's where we're at right now. I do think that again, we're hitting a little bit of a pause here. Not as much movement, especially at the top. Again, Texas and Oklahoma, that has ripple effects throughout all of college football, and we're seeing it right now. Again, especially, I mean, now we've got, New Mexico State and Liberty. I've got to be thrilled. New Mexico State was in the WAC. They got dropped. They really didn't fit anywhere else. UTEP decided to go play with these Texas schools. The Texas schools have all been taken away. So they're doing what they can to survive. And again, I know you might not be thrilled about it if you're UTEP. Oh my gosh, now we have to maybe travel to UMass, or now we have to go to Virginia or something like that. But you got to remember, UTEP, FIU, Louisiana Tech, you have conferences now. Okay, you didn't before, and you had no idea what you're going to do. We're gonna have everybody going to go independent. That's not a long-term solution. You're going to have to play a zillion away games. You're going to get the crap kicked out of you most of the time. BYU, Notre Dame, those are the exceptions, not the rule. Liberty's done a pretty good job. But again, I think that whole independent thing can only run its course for so long. You need to join a conference. You need to be somewhere where you're wanted and where it makes some geographical sense. Again, more geographical sense, the smaller the conference is. The bigger the conference, USC can join the SEC right now. It wouldn't really hurt them. But the smaller the amount of pool of money that you're dealing with, the more conference affiliation and geography matters. All right, everybody, thank you so much for all of your support and all of your interactions. Let me know what you guys think in the comments right now. Are you excited for Sam Houston State? Do you guys even care? Let me know. But I just love this kind of stuff just because it affects everything. Everything is connected to each other. Even if the top flight teams don't really care about the lower level teams, they still have an impact on them. All right, I will see you guys on Friday. I am out.